Suffering becomes beautiful when anyone bears great calamities with cheerfulness, not through insensibility but through greatness of mind. It is just that we should be grateful, not only to those with whose views we may agree, but also to those who have expressed more superficial views, for these also contributed something, by developing before us the powers of thought. What the statesman is most anxious to produce is a certain moral character in his fellow citizens, namely a disposition to virtue and the performance of virtuous actions. The generality of men are naturally apt to be swayed by fear rather than reverence, and to refrain from evil rather because of the punishment that it brings than because of its own foulness. For as the eyes of bats are to the blaze of day, so is the reason in our soul to the things which are by nature most evident of all. A great city is not to be confounded with a populous one. Good habits formed at youth make all the difference. Jealousy is both reasonable and belongs to reasonable men, while envy is base and belongs to the base, for the one makes himself get good things by jealousy, while the other does not allow his neighbor to have them through envy. Character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. A friend to all is a friend to none. Hence poetry is something more philosophic and of graver import than history, since its statements are rather of the nature of universals, whereas those of history are singulars. What it lies in our power to do, it lies in our power not to do. No excellent soul is exempt from a mixture of madness. The beginning of reform is not so much to equalize property as to train the noble sort of natures not to desire more, and to prevent the lower from getting more. Both oligarch and tyrant mistrust the people, and therefore deprive them of their arms. To run away from trouble is a form of cowardice and, while it is true that the suicide braves death, he does it not for some noble object but to escape some ill. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts. Homer has taught all other poets the art of telling lies skillfully. The most perfect political community is one in which the middle class is in control, and outnumbers both of the other classes. The one exclusive sign of thorough knowledge is the power of teaching. A constitution is the arrangement of magistracies in a state. Criticism is something you can easily avoid by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. Men acquire a particular quality by constantly acting in a particular way. The virtue of justice consists in moderation, as regulated by wisdom. Politicians also have no leisure, because they are always aiming at something beyond political life itself, power and glory, or happiness. If liberty and equality, as is thought by some, are chiefly to be found in democracy, they will be best attained when all persons alike share in government to the utmost. No one would choose a friendless existence on condition of having all the other things in the world. Men create gods after their own image, not only with regard to their form but with regard to their mode of life. The ideal man bears the accidents of life with dignity and grace, making the best of circumstances.